Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the paint job that we did on Vegas Rat Rods on the Joker and the Snot Rocket Ford that we showed you guys in our last video using Pearl Lime Green and Candy Green. All right, let's get on it. Because we're doing a flat over a flat. So when I did the Joker on Vegas Rat Rods, you see how fast that dried? A couple seconds, I want to show you guys this. This is effect, but very slight. See what I mean? Juicer through it just to clean it out real quick before we go. You gotta be careful. What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for all the great responses on our bronze paint job we did on our last video. This video is gonna be like what we did on the Joker, which was like a pearl lime green and then it has like a candy green over the top of it. So before we get started with that, I want to show you. So this is the Autoborne sealer like we talked about in the last video. And if you guys didn't watch that video, go check it out. Should be in the playlist. This is Autoborne sealer green, number 6010, okay? This was an old door that we had painted before. We were gonna turn it into a sign, but now we're just gonna keep using these doors for all the different colors, you know, for you guys that are asking, we can try them out. So if you've got color combos, write it in the comments and say, hey, I wanna see a blue and a teal or a whatever. So we'll go ahead and do it. So before we lay down this pearl lime green, which is right here, Wicked Colors, once again, it's all from Createx right here behind me. This is a super cool color that looks amazing, clear coated. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw down this base color. And while we're talking about base colors, this stuff is amazing. Like this, believe it, so it looks like it's a, you know, a decent mid lime green, right? If I was to shoot this over, say, a white, it will be like neon. Like it's gonna be almost yellow. I know it doesn't look like that right now, but you guys have to remember, a lot of the water-based stuff is kind of translucent, so you do need some type of, you know, sealer. We call it base color. Just like if you had, say you have a black sealer, okay? And then you're gonna throw a translucent red over it. It's gonna be a dark, dark, dark red or maroon almost, you know, or a candy black red or whatever you wanna call it. But if we were to shoot that over white, it's gonna be like fire engine red. So you guys see what I'm saying? So if you start to look at your tones, so in one of the next videos, I'm gonna do a panel that's gonna be silver, white, black, and then whatever base color we're doing. So if we're doing like a, say a pearl blue, then we're gonna have a light blue base color, which would be one of the sealers. I hope that's making sense. Is it making sense?
It's making sense.
Okay. So I guess back to that whole thing of, and this is for people that are like new to painting. You know, you pro guys, you already know this stuff. And then the watercolor is a little different than the solvent stuff. They do make opaques. This is a lime green, but this is an opaque. So this will cover pretty much black right over the top of it. But if I was to take this pearl, which is thinner, and go over black, it's almost gonna look like a pearl hunter green because it's so dark. Just like you can dye your primers, you know? If you're doing a bright red fire engine red car, you could either go with a white primer that's really gonna help that red pop, but the problem is if you get a chip in it, you might see that light colored primer. So sometimes it's cool to go ahead and dye the primer or color code the primer to a similar base color, like red with red or blue with blue, on and on, you guys know that. Okay, I'm probably already talking too much. Let's get these mixed up. We're gonna spray right over this other door, okay? Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and put the green sealer in and then do 10% of the 4011 reducer. I'm gonna put it in a 1.2 needle gun and we're gonna spray that real quick. So we'll get that on there and we'll be back in just a second. Looks like house paint. You would think if this was a solvent, you'd be like, this is no good. I'm throwing this out, man. You got your measuring cups out, 10%. 10%. That's 10 parts paint, 1%. 10 to 1. Man, I'm off there. I'm off. That's 10 parts paint and 1 part reducer. Okay, so you guys remember in the last video I was saying go ahead and give it about 10 minutes and let it break everything down if you're using the 4011 reducer, but with the airbrush. But we'll hit a couple high points there. Oh, look at that, Trey, there's your dad. Travis Dieter right there, VonDieter.com. Anyways, this is the green we're using right now, the 6010. And then here's their reducers, their cross linkers, their restorers, their cleaners, all kinds of good stuff, you guys, check it out. It's endless, the amount of coolness. Like we were talking before, you guys that haven't tried the water base yet, give it a shot. You know, it's a little different if you're not used to it, but there's some amazing colors in here, guys. Like, I mean, Trey and I have come up with some really cool color combos over the years, but it's kind of endless of how far we can go. We're getting ready to do the pearl lime green, and yeah, they use this stuff in the movies. They use this in Disneyland, in The Mandalorian, in The Walking Dead. Lots of companies use their products, so I can keep going on and on and on, so you guys check it out. Another cool thing I like about the water-based stuff is if you get a sprayer for water-based, it's like a fan sprayer for your air nozzle, you can help speed up the process. But the stuff is so cool that it doesn't give like dirt enough time to get in it. You know what I mean? Versus a solvent sometimes. I'm not knocking solvents, I'm just saying that this is what we're used to using. You guys use whatever you like the best. But for some of these steps that I'm doing, it's kind of hard to do with a solvent. So that's one thing I didn't talk about in the last video, was that the reason why this squirt bottle thing works the way it works is because we're doing a flat over a flat. So acrylic over acrylic. What I should have done last time is showed you guys what, say, a solvent that somebody had, like say if you had a solvent sealer on there, the minute you hit it with the water, you know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be like oil and water. It's just gonna separate. The water's just gonna like bead off like wax. So it's not gonna help the effect that you're trying to go for if you're trying to do these, you know, squirt bottle fan effects. But anyways, okay, let's paint. Enough talking. Let me grab my thingy thing. Can you guys see how it's not covering the shop full of vapors either? It's dropping straight to the ground. We love that. You can do this in your garage at home. Need more paint. A little more paint. Is it what that you buy? So when I did the Joker on Vegas Rat Rods, I took this and I added a little bit of white to it, and I made the base color, which is the sealer. Sorry, not to mix those two up. It's a little bit lighter than this, but we're gonna go ahead and leave this, their stock 6010, not to confuse everybody, and then we're gonna take their pearl lime green right out of the bottle, and we'll just shoot those two colors first, okay? We're speeding the process up. Obviously, make sure you do read the directions and wait the full amount of time for that to cure. But you see how fast that dried? Because we really haven't sped the film up, so has it been? 5 minutes, maybe? It's almost there.
At least.
I'm cheating with the air hose a little bit. You don't want to put your other color on when this is not cured, because it'll do some weird stuff. While we're letting that cure for a couple seconds, I want to show you guys this. This is a giant roll of mask. What we used to do in the old days before plotters were affordable for all of us. So if you guys don't have a plotter and you want to do some door logos and you're not good at hand painting and you want to use stencils, you can also take this Because just like on the Joker, if you remember the firewall, I put purple and black diamonds all the way across that. That's basically what I did. I painted the whole entire firewall black. Then I put the mask over the whole entire firewall, took a razor blade as flat as you can get it, cut all the diamonds out, then did my white and my purple. So I'll do that in another video. But this stuff is great. We use this all the time. Not only can you use it for masking, you can tear it off and use it for different effects when you're doing stuff, you know, as far as like if you're trying to make something look old, or if you're trying to make clouds or all this different stuff. But I just wanted to show you guys that. It's a giant roll of mask. I got it at our local shop, Desert Art Supply. I think you guys can get them online. This roll is probably about $100. So anyways, there's another trick. Okay, on the green, you hear that? There's a steely in there, so you can shake it up. Make sure on the pearls, make sure you try to shake that up really good, because the pearls will sit at the bottom. You know what I mean? I usually take mine and flip them upside down every once in a while and try and get all that pearl to come back in there. Okay, same thing. It's your discretion. You can shoot this right out of the bottle if you want. If you want to reduce it a little bit, you can. So we might be doing 2 coats of this to get that pearl lime green to pop. And hopefully we have enough left. We've been going through some paint. Going through some paint. What's good is there's our pearls in there. Na, 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 na. Green. You know what's funny about the Joker car, by the way, on Vegas Rat Rods? It looked like a watermelon on the outside when we were done with it because they put red interior in it. And we told them to put purple interior in it because purple and green looks sick, like Gravedigger, or like everything Horny Mike does is purple and green. But they put a red interior in it and it does look like a giant watermelon. Don't drink this at home. Okay, got our pearl lime green doing its thing. I'm gonna go rinse this out with water right now. Get rid of the sealer out of our gun. The sealer's still good. Put our cap seal on it. Spray it all over myself, which is awesome. Put that back on the shelf. Label it 6010. Be careful too. Did you see that? There was 2 of them in there. If you happen to get one stuck in there, when you go to put that seal on and flip your gun upside down, it'll start leaking all over you. And then you're gonna be upset. Or not, maybe you like to play and paint. See how thin that is? That's why it needs a sealer. I have put this on my skin. Some of you guys have seen some of my Frankenstein stuff I've done. I don't think you're supposed to put it on your skin. Some pearl. I hope that's enough. I say that every time. I always make too much. Cap. Oh, and by the way, the guys that are watching the fab videos, the next one we're doing is on shrinker stretcher. So we'll be taking 18 gauge steel and we will be shaping some different shapes with that. I'll show you guys how to do that for, especially if you're building a car. You can make your rocker panels with it. You can do inside window frames. There's all kinds of cool stuff we can do with that. Okay. Lock it in. Make sure you guys get that pressed all the way on there. Yeah, there we go. All right. Smells like air. What we're gonna do, these are light coats. So I'm just doing a light haze real quick. One thing you guys gotta remember with water-based is you don't wanna bomb it or it will run really fast, especially if you're used to the solvents where it's hanging a little bit, you know what I mean? So try it out, get used to it a little bit before you go crazy with it. A lot of times I'll just put a really light coat on it, let it kind of cure and then come back. I know I'm supposed to be wearing my mask. But I want to be able to talk to you guys at the same time. You see where I bombed it right there. So it's going to look patchy for a minute. All right, I'm gonna let that kind of flash for a second. For you new guys, what I mean by flash is we want it to be able to touch it with your finger and it's dry. So we'll let that flash for a second, we're gonna hit it again. So see on your pearl, you need to do probably 2 coats. Yeah, anyway, so let's let that do its thing for a minute. What else? What else can we talk about while this is drying? What other colors do you guys want to see? There's purples, there's greens, there's candies, there's flake. I got some skateboards that we already flaked over there that we could do some candies with. We have a really cool silver. Hold on, I'm gonna go grab it. I want to show you guys this real quick. This is the CA200 aluminum. I painted my 29-inch Sundae with it, and it looks like polished aluminum. So I was thinking, I haven't seen this on a car yet, but it's hard to see because it's so thin, but it's, once you spray this over, say, the black sealer, man, it kind of has got like a mirrored reflection, so maybe we should do a chrome door. And then do like candy black over it. What do you think? Talking to you, camera guy.
Yeah.
Trey.
Yes.
Might be kind of cool, huh? A little something different. We could paint your drift car.
Wait, so what happens when you do a white base?
I think you can do a white base on it. I haven't tried it. It would probably look cool with their silver sealer too. But I think if you did the black, the thing about the black base is it gives you a great reflection back to you. And it's easier to see where you just sprayed. If you do like a silver base and then you do the aluminum over the top of it, you might miss some patches because it's hard to see it, but I haven't tried that yet, so we'll try it. Matter of fact, good choice. I've never tried it over white. I feel like it'd be kind of see-through. I feel like it'd almost look like the Zephyr, where it'd be back to like that, almost like a silver, you know, like a sparkly silver or something. I think on Vegas Rat Rods, when I did that, I kind of made up the color for the sealer myself, so it was a little bit lighter, but this pearl covers this perfect, so this is a great great color to use, the 6010. So give it a few more minutes and we'll hit it again. Keep shaking your pearls up, make sure your pearls don't get stuck down in the bottom of your gun there before you spray it. This is just the candy green, the Candy2o. What am I holding this for? This is their candy green. They're light. They have 2 different greens. So it's the Candy2o, and then over regular silver flake, and then highlighted with I think a Viridian green. That's what that is. So. Trey was just asking about flake, so we can do some silver flake too and some lowrider stuff. We did using that silver and the bronze effect, but very slight. See what I mean? Didn't get too crazy with it. And then in some next videos, I'll show you guys what we're doing with when we use a fine line tape and how to tear around it to get some different looks. This is for Mark Carter. He's supposed to come get this. A ½ inch of water in there, that's it. Because it's a candy, it's already thin. Now, one thing to remember is the candies are just like very similar to the solvent candies. You do need to put a clear coat over this to protect it. Don't get it on your shoes. Yeah, this isn't dry yet. Hang on a sec. I can see the base is moving a little bit. This is exactly how the snot rocket was. Green on them shoes. Look at that crazy green. Looks cool. Watermelon. Get your watermelon. We're gonna do a couple of these and we're gonna let it dry for a second so they can see the effect. Because I'm getting a little too much water on there. Sometimes it'll pick up the imperfections in the door and do little weird things too. So this looks, this pearl green looks amazing just by itself. You don't have to do any of this. But for some of the people that were like wanting to know on the Joker how we were doing it, I think I kind of explained some of it on TV. I can't remember. Do you remember? I don't remember.
I don't.
That looks crazy. And then once it's clear, the candy over that pearl. Yeah, so like, once again, guys, be careful what you have around it, especially if you're gonna use a candy. You don't necessarily have to use a candy. I am, because we're out of Viridian Green, I think you say it. That also works great. I'm using the candy green though, because that's kind of how we were doing the Model A, which was the Joker on Vegas Rat Rods. And I ended up having to squirt bottle that like 7 or 8 times, and then we did a satin clear on it, which still looked amazing. You could still, through that satin, you could still see the pearl and the candy come through. So it looks cool either way. The Snot Rocket is high gloss clear, which looks sick in the sunlight. And then the Joker is a satin, and it still, like, either way, it looks great either way. Just don't do a matte. If you do a matte clear, it'll just get rid of every reflection that you just were trying to come up with. So seeing like on the Snot Rocket, we made it a little softer, and then on the Joker, The Joker, we made it, the runs were a lot, you know, darker. But in the Joker, we were trying to make it look like the vat of stuff that the Joker, you know, fell into. Not like a watermelon with that red interior. That's why the Snot Rocket, we did black interior with green piping, and it looks sick. I hope Lonnie still has that truck. I heard he was gonna put a Coyote in it. It had a 4BT diesel in it. What a cool truck. You do go through some paint though. You will go through a lot of paint and make a mess on the floor. Once again, make sure you put plastic down. You know, this would be fun to do to like a floor and then put like a clear epoxy over it. Or I guess you could just do it with epoxy paint, but it'd be kind of cool, right? I don't know. What do I know? Apparently nothing. Right, Trey?
You know everything.
I wish I did. We're gonna let that, because the more I keep putting water on, it's gonna keep pulling the paint off, so we're gonna let that dry the way it is. Normally I wouldn't put as deep of a run in there like that, but I think it's kind of cool and it kind of shows some different effects. So maybe we'll leave this side a little darker and this side a little lighter, but we'll go ahead and let that do its thing. Now you could take an air hose and play with it right now and do little spider effects and things like that. Well, here, let's grab an air hose and try it. Don't talk about it, be about it, right? Oh, look at that, we created bubbles, spots, because we're separating that candy. Oh, wow, no, I don't want spots, so I'm not using the air. We're gonna stop that right now. It's got a water barrier on it right now, but I guess I never tried that, so. We could paint flames like this, dude. Do some flames. Even got sound effects. Is that how flames sound? Oh, can you write in it? Yeah, so I guess if you don't even like it, that spot, just dry it back out and move the paint around a little bit. Okay, we're gonna stop messing with it for a second. Oh, by the way, Trey just brought up a great point. There is some overlay colors that you can get. They have tridescence, they have iridescence, they have gem shift colors. On Trey's drift car, one of them, we did a baby blue with magenta and another blue over the top of that, and then we took a teal gem shift and put that over the whole thing before you cleared it. So you had like 4 different colors going at the same time, you know what I mean? So there's some really cool other colors you can add over the top of this. Like if you wanted to add a gem shift green, which is basically see-through, over the top of this, you'll see little tiny green sparkles all over the place. Okay, I think that's drying up pretty good because we're gonna grab the airbrush in a minute. I'm gonna do some more, a little more through here. Try not to get it on myself. If you're going for some crazy toxic colors, though, you could probably just leave a lot of that. See how dark green that you can make it? See, because the Joker was really green. Because like I said, I ended up putting a lot of candy on that to get it that dark color. And that's the thing with candies, the more you stack them, the darker they get, you know. A little bit of water. And I'm trying not to make this video so long, you know, we're trying to go a little faster with some of these videos. So. But thank you guys all for watching them. We appreciate it. We've got lots of different paint tricks to show you guys. This is just some of the stuff we did on the show, so I wanted to get those knocked out first. Another cool one was the explosives truck, which is a really cool red sealer. And then I took and literally took stencils and made it look like almost like burnt smoke over the top of the black. It's a 57 Chevy truck. And don't get me wrong, guys, I still love traditional regular paint jobs, and we still do them. We still do regular paint jobs too. This is just fun. Get a weird effect going there. It'd probably be pretty cool to just take the candy green and like highlight the doors or the edges, or do some really cool like old Gene Winfield fades with the candy green up to the pearl green, you know. Speaking of Gene Winfield, what an awesome dude. He taught all of us a lot of stuff. We're all sorry to hear that he passed, but I got the pleasure of working with him a few times. It was like total honor to be, you know, in the same room with him. I actually got to chop a 32 Ford with him, so I know a lot of you guys out there got to go to his classes, and what a cool dude. And one thing I liked about Gene is he liked crazy stuff like this. He always wanted to do something different, you know what I mean? It's not about always following the traditional rules. Break the rules, man. Break all the rules. All right, this is looking weird. But if we want to go to the level of where the Joker was, like I said, we just kept putting more and more of that candy green on there. And we just kept going and going. I think it took me quite a few hours to get that to the color combo that we wanted, which is pretty dark. It'll even pull the bubbles down with it. The bubbles will pull the paint with it. You know what's funny? You could probably use that candy. Probably put it back in the bottle and reuse it. Just don't drink it. Yeah. Look at them bubbles. The bubbles are pulling it off. We should probably let it do one more dry. Do one more dry. Cool thing is when you guys do this is like no two cars are gonna be the same. You know what I mean? So, did you see how dark that was? And it has already ran down. To speed up this video, because I know you guys probably don't want to sit here all night and watch this, we're gonna go ahead and let that dry, and then I'll hit it with the airbrush and we'll call it good. Tomorrow I'll clear coat it, and then I'll show you guys in the sun what it looks like. Okay, we keep putting more and more candy on it because we were trying to, you know, get back to what the Joker looked like. But hey, and thank you guys for letting me know when we were talking about Bob Ross the other day. It's happy little accidents. You guys are right. Happy big ass accident. Candy will stain because it's like a dye. It's already all over. It's covered. Oh man. Oh man. Boy, the shop's gonna be a mess tomorrow, huh? Like for example, this Indian helmet, this has all been squirt bottled first to get those weathered effects. And then there's Posca pin in here and stuff, but like that's actually, this helmet actually started out white. So that's with the sepia and the burnt sienna squirt bottled over it. You can actually see the video on Instagram, but there you go, that's another squirt bottle thing. It gets a cool background effect. They have a like binder that's number 4030 that you mix with this because you don't want your candies to bleed on top of each other with multiple colors. Whoa, that was way too much. I feel like I'm gonna spill that. But we're just gonna highlight a few things with the same dark green. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Oh. That's never ever happened. that means this gun has got a slight little leak to it. Happy little messes. I gotta be careful I don't step on the carpet. Once again, wear your mask when you're doing the big stuff, and put some gloves on if you're using candy, because I am getting this all over me. It's gonna be there for like 3 days. I always like to darken the edges. But you see, like this one, like on the Joker, we went through and took every one of those and we just kind of made it like more intensified. We did a lot of that on that Snot Rocket too. Just kind of go with the flow of however that shape is, you know. So you could sit here for hours and just keep going and keep shaping it and making just weirdness. Because like you see where like that green's coming down right there? Where it almost looks like flames right there. And for you new airbrush people out there, down for air, back for paint. And then your distance, however you get closer, the closer you get, the sharper the, ooh, look at that cool little smear. The closer you get, the sharper the line, the farther away you get, it's more faded. Happy little accident there again. So I can sit here all day and keep going like the Joker is. And this is the Candy Emerald Green, right? Part number 4661. Candy2o from Createx. All right, guys, so there you go. Thank you for watching. That's how we did the Joker on Vegas Rat Rods using Wicked Pearl Lime Green and the Emerald Candy. Actually, if you go up to the bottom of my channel and look for like the channels that are mentioned, Createx is right there. You can click on there and go right to their YouTube channel that they have. So once again, we both thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys.
All right, we'll see you on the next one. All right, guys, take a look at it in sun with some high gloss clear. There's the pearls coming out and the candy green. Changes colors. I actually put some purple in here, messing around last night. All right, there you guys go. Thanks for watching the video. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. I think on the next one, we're gonna do some type of like patina. We've had some people asking about that, so we'll do something kind of like maybe a oranges, yellows, or something like that, and some rust colors. So, all right, thank you so much. Stay tuned. We'll see you on the next one.